Hey folks, how you doing? I had like 15 to 20 pages of notes uh, regarding current events and prophecy, but it was just too much. I'll be here for an hour, so I want to try and give you the short version. I'm going to try and wing this. I, for example, the weather report. There's apocalyptic weather all over the world. It would take me 15 to 20 minutes just to read the weather report, so you're just going to have to take my word. It's not normal, okay? Um, Listen, I got YouTube friends, and they're really having problems with their channel. Um, I'm talking, they say the wrong thing, or in the comments, there's spam and stuff like this. One guy had 500,000 subscribers, didn't say one thing wrong. I don't even know what he said regarding what's going on in his comments, but he's going to lose his channel, okay? So, being that I'm not a guy that really understands this stuff, I'm kind of doing this on a shoestring. This is not per se a call I got from God. I actually had 2 calls from God, and one a long time ago was a street evangelist, and then he took me out of that ministry, and I became a writer. I got a definite call to be a writer. This was more like, Lord, I think I might be able to help out in this area, and God said, okay, that's fine. Maybe you can help out, so I'm kind of a part-timer in this. It's not really a primary call, but hey, listen, if I can tell you something pertinent, which I think I can, to show you how close we are to the rapture and the day of the Lord, that's good. But I think for me, I'm going to keep the comments off because, guys, I really don't understand this stuff. I really don't. I mean, I sort of understand how to work the channel and all that, but I don't have anybody like a neighbor or something, family member that can show me, oh yeah, here's how you do this and that. I pretty much kind of got the basic idea, but anyway, let's just get into this. Birds are falling down from the sky. Birds are hanging in midair. It's happening in many states. This is not normal, okay? Another thing, the mainstream news is talking about cities, the best cities to live in for the coming zombie apocalypse. Now, when did you ever hear a mainstream news media talk about that? I mean, I find that really strange. Now, I was told that, people. Well, there's a certain small group of people that bought the world a long time ago, and quite frankly, I heard somebody on YouTube say, "Now this is their latest agenda," and a couple of days later, I was watching the mainstream news, and sure enough, they started spouting off everything that I was told a couple of days ago. So, by the way, I'm not going to mention an anchor. I'm not going to mention network or anything like that. But I will say this. Either these people are the stupidest people in the world, or they're part of the club. Bottom line, So, there's some things I got written down here I really don't want to get into. There's a lot of really, really sensitive subjects, but I think you've heard it over and over and over and over again. I don't want to make this video too long. Creatures are walking the earth. that nobody ever saw before. Can you imagine that? They're getting their cell phones out, cameras, and they're asking themselves the question, what is this? Who is this? You know? I found this interesting, that the people that want population control are now more mainstream about it. They're on the mainstream media saying, yeah, this is what we want and this is what we're going to get. In Europe, there's now digital passports, okay? And this spans 27 countries. You know, I asked myself one fundamental question. Who is promoting this one world government? And the answer, as I look around society, is everybody. Everybody. From the people to the government, to the corporations, to the people that run the world. It's everybody. And I notice that there's very little resistance to this. Well, you know, I got a little discouraged last week. And I'm somewhat of a worrywart, you know. I had a lot of responsibility on me all my life. And God gave me 2 visions. And the first was I saw my life, and I was kind of standing on a line, or the line represented my life, and I was right at the end of the line. Okay, I mean, and that just tells me that I think the rapture's very, very, very close. I was literally right at the end of the line. And the second vision was quite unique. I was traveling through a school zone, and it was modern day society, and I saw a school zone. Everybody was happy. God told me, he said, I'm going to show you what society would be like if I ran the government. Okay? So I'm walking through this school zone, and there's all different types of ages of people, young kids, teenagers, young adults. I think I saw a post office next to the school. I think I saw other businesses, and you know, it's not like there weren't problems or issues or opinions. There were. I saw all of that, but everybody was getting along. And when I was walking through society, I felt no resistance. I mean, it was so cool. I mean, people respected each other. Everybody was a part of society, the community. Nobody was left out. And it was Jesus saying, this is a taste of the millennial kingdom of Jesus Christ, but it is also what society would be like if I ran the government, you know. And boy, there was just a sense of relief that just came all over my soul. I felt so comfortable. I felt so safe. I mean, friends, what we have to look forward to after the rapture and in the millennial kingdom, it's going to be total societal harmony. It really is. I mean, the Lord gave me a taste of it, and I wish He gave you a taste of it, because it was just one of the greatest visions I ever had in my life. Now, to get back to reality, sorry, I didn't mean to have to get back to reality, but I'm getting back to reality. Um, in some cases, if people aren't wearing a mask, they're getting arrested. You know, I'm beginning to think that fear mongering is the law. You know, if you don't fear monger, you're not obeying the law. But there's a lot of fear mongering going on. Okay, a smart mark is out. Okay, I was wondering when that was going to come out. All you got to do is put it in your skin. That's all you got to do. And so many people are running to this. I have watched documentaries where employers say, we're going to start this. And we're going to put this smart mark in every one of our employees. And you know what? There was almost no resistance. I mean, think about that. Hybrid babies being born, they're huge. They're huge. They're not babies. They're hybrid babies, okay? Climate lockdowns are already in existence in Europe. Now they want to bring it over here to the U.S. I don't know how well that's going to do. But how that kind of works is they kind of size you up as an individual or as a family. And they say, you've been using this before and now you've exceeded your limit. And maybe they want to give you fines, you know. Personally, I think that's the least of our problems. But there's so many agendas out there that it's here. That's what they want to do, but it's all about fear and control, and it's just the opposite of the vision that I saw and walked through. Now, I said the weather is so apocalyptic that it would take me 15 minutes to read you the weather report around the world. But it's big, it's huge. I mean, I'm talking, in some cases, 500,000 people had to evacuate. Surveillance, it's through the roof. You have no idea that there's 1,000 ways that the government can surveil me and surveil you. You wouldn't even know all the ways that they can surveil you. Listen to your conversations, take your picture, take your video. You know, it's just the society and the age that we're living in. You know, what they're teaching our young kids in school. Quite frankly, I'm almost 60 years old. And I don't even understand some of this stuff that they're teaching the kids in school. I really don't. I mean, I can't believe my ears. I can't believe my eyes. I can't believe my ears. You know, I can't really put my finger on it, but human beings are different now. They are. I mean, I've lived long enough to be able to tell you this. Something is different. I hate to sound like that movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers, but it's not quite that extreme. But something is very different. You know, if I see people in a line, they won't talk to each other. There seems to be a brainwashing going on, and I'm personally not comfortable with it. I'm not like that. I'm just not like that. But I see it in many people. Many people. Lot of cyber attacks. Lot of cyber attacks. You know, it's becoming the norm, and you're probably going to see more. I talked about these agendas, and I got to tell you that they're very cynical. They're very diabolical. They're very cynical, and you know, I'm sorry right now that you might feel like an experiment. I don't think that's. I know that's not the way God created humanity. He never wanted that, but that's just. It just shows us that we're very close to the return of Jesus Christ. Twitter bots are saying the same thing over and over and over again. Once again, we got the fear mongering. You know, obviously the music industry isn't of God. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything new. Heck, I grew up in the 70s and the 80s, and so many different artists, you know, came on the scene, and the 80s probably was the most generous musical decade ever. You had all your one-hit wonders, and you got some talent. Come on in. Yeah, you're welcome. Come on in. That's fine. Make your music. You know, let's have some fun. Is it just me, or do I see the same musical artist all the time, over and over and over again? The 80s never would have, the 50s never would have settled for that. The 80s never would have settled for that. Of course, in all these decades, there was a big star like, you know, Elvis Presley or Madonna or the Beatles, but it was more generous back then. It was more authentic. You know, if you had talent, they gave you a chance. Now, I don't know if it's just me or if you're seeing the same thing, but I'm seeing the same thing, the same people over and over and over again. Okay, so let me give you some good news here. Let me get away from the bad news. It's what I'm about to say is bad news, but it's not. Little known fact, World War I started on the 9th of Av. World War II started on the 9th of Av. And historically speaking, there's a good chance that World War III may very well start on the 9th of Av. It's the 18th of July now, and I don't really buy that the 9th of Av is in July. I know a lot of people are coming on the computer saying, yeah, it's July. I looked into the subject a while ago, and I never really bought that. But it could very well be August 18th, okay? And that's interesting. Some people believe it's September 18th, okay? So I don't really know, but historically speaking, World War I and World War II did start on the 9th of Av. So perhaps World War III will start on the 9th of Av. The foreplay or dress rehearsal has already started. There are at least 15 different signs that Ezekiel 38 and 39 are going to take place very soon. I think the U.S. just deployed a lot of F-22s, and I think that the U.S. Withdrew a lot of troops from the Middle East, and it's because they had to deal with issues regarding Russia and China. Then there's that 32-nation exercise and right around Europe. Well, they're calling it an exercise, but it's really not an exercise. The war has really started. The foreplay of the war has really started. So expect Ezekiel 38 and 39 pretty soon. And my logic is the rapture will take place very soon, probably right around that war. Okay? Okay, let's just talk about Pentecost, because I did do a pretty big video on Pentecost. The first Pentecost is at the end of the barley harvest, and that already took place, okay? The second Pentecost is the new wine Pentecost. That corresponds with, in Acts, when the new believers were accused of being drunk, okay? And you have to count, rather than 50 days from Passover, you have to count 99 days, okay? So this probably would be around August 10th to the 21st. But what I find really interesting about the New Wine Pentecost is it kind of corresponds with the 9th of Av. So it would make sense that if the rapture is going to happen in the middle of, or at the beginning of World War III, which probably will start on or right around the 9th of Av, that's about the approximate time period. You know, now some people have it a little later into September. I don't know. I'm not a date setter. Every once in a while somebody will accuse me of being a date setter, but not once have I ever set a date, okay? Because I'm not that smart. But I can give you the basic idea here that the New Wine Pentecost, which is the second Pentecost, so there's 3 Pentecosts, by the way. Most people do not know a whole lot about the third Pentecost. I do not. Some people do. I do know that the third Pentecost has nothing to do with the rapture, okay? It's the second Pentecost that I personally believe has the most to do with the rapture, because it's landing right around the 9th of Av, okay? Which really makes me think. So, oh, one more thing. It's a Shemitah year. Very important. Those first, in Daniel 9:24 to 27, those first 69 weeks happened on a Shemitah, or the 483 years. It's either 69 weeks if you want to look at it from a week point of view, or the 483 years. They were all sabbatical cycles. This year, it's a sabbatical cycle according to many experts, okay? I'm talking about the Jewish experts. Very, very important. In fact, some people would even go as far as to say that if the 7-year tribulation does not start in the fall of 2021, we got another 7 years to wait. And I don't think we got 7 years. In fact, I know we don't got another 7 years with the way everything's going. We are at an apocalyptic exponential pace, okay? So I think I'll stop here and say, friend, if you're not right with the Lord, there is something called the rapture of the church. And for those that accepted the Lord into their heart as their personal Savior and Lord and repented of all their sins, and they're truly sincere and earnest before God, and they're really praying before God, please save me, redeem me through your shed blood. You get saved at that point if you mean it. You have to be honest. Don't try and fool God. You have to be earnest, sincere, and honest about this decision. But when this hits the fan, and it will, because the Bible teaches it, you want to be saved. You want to be redeemed through the shed blood of Jesus Christ, and you want to go up in the rapture. You do not want to be left behind. I promise you this. You do not want to be left behind no matter who you are. You may think you do, but you don't, because life will become horrible. So, with that being said, I don't want to make these videos too long because people don't have the time. One, people are very busy, and two, there's like thousands of videos out there. So, where do I rank? Well, I don't know. maybe in the middle, maybe at the bottom end, who knows. But I'm not going to make this video too long. So, just going to say, have a wonderful day or night wherever you are in the world. afternoon. You know, it could be afternoon. All different kinds of time zones. But God bless you. Okay.